In the 2020-21 NBA draft, the Sacramento Kings will have the 9th pick. The Kings are definitely very much used to being in the draft lottery, since they literally haven't made the playoffs in I think like 15 seasons, which obviously is terrible. With the 9th pick, there is a chance that the Kings can select one of the steals in the draft, since last season with the 11th pick, they got a huge steal in Tyrese Halliburton, who looks like a player who could potentially be an all-star one day. So although the Kings are notorious for missing on their draft picks, maybe last season was a sign of change, or maybe it was just a fluke. Nonetheless, the Kings have the 9th pick, and in today's video I'll be discussing the 3 most likely prospects I think they will select, as well as how those prospects will fit on this team. Before we get into this video, I ask you to drop a like on this video to help my channel grow. Subscribe to my channel if you want more NBA content like this, because I literally post every single day. You can check. I'm gonna be posting literally every day for the rest of the summer. Also, if you subscribe, will help me reach my goal of 1,500 subscribers, which will really I'll really appreciate that. Also, comment on this video, start a conversation with me, as I do respond to every single one of my comments. And I'm out. The first prospect I think the Sacramento Kings could potentially select with the 9th overall pick is Kispert out of the University of Gonzaga. Kispert's a 6'7", 220-pound forward who could play the small forward or the power forward position. He's probably the best shooter in the whole of draft. The main reason he's considered such a high prospect is literally just because of his shooting, which obviously is something very important. But the thing about Kispert is the fact that he's not just a shooter. He's the guy who can attack the rim at a pretty decent level with both hands. He also has high awareness, as he always cuts to the basket at the right time, and he's just a very winning player who gets along well with his teammates. And I think the biggest reason he's so developed is because he went to college for 4 years and he's 22 years old, which is a negative and a positive. It's a negative because I doubt he's going to get significantly better than what he will be in his rookie season, and it's a positive since I think he can help teams out immediately. He's also a very gritty and determined player, and apparently he's a gym rat, so maybe I'm wrong and he can even potentially get better as his career goes along. He literally shot 44% from 3 in college while attempting 6 of them, so I think it's safe to say he's at worst the top 3 shooter in the whole NBA draft, but in my opinion he's obviously the best. Some negatives about Kispert is the fact that he's not a great athlete when it comes to his quickness or his vertical jump ability, and that could lead to him not being able to defend NBA level defenders, or maybe he can't even beat them off the dribble and get to the basket as easy as it was in college. Apparently his lateral quickness is below average as well. He's also a guy who shoots primarily catch and shoot threes. He's gonna need some talent around him to create open shots for him, because he's not gonna do it for himself. So basically his negatives is the fact that he's not a great defender due to his athleticism, and he can't really create his own shot. And in the case of Sacramento drafting him, I honestly think it's a realistic thing, since Sacramento is a team that might need a forward, since they could potentially trade Harrison Barnes. And although Kispert is an older rookie, he's a guy who can help them win right away, because I feel like Sacramento is not trying to rebuild forever, and getting the best shooter in the NBA draft definitely could help. And with the talent of guys like De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Halliburton surrounding him, he could definitely thrive by getting open shots, and he can also space the floor for them and allow them to get to the basket easier. The only negative is the fact that he's not that good of a defender, and Sacramento was one of the worst defenses in the past season, and they were actually one of the worst defenses in NBA history. So Kispert not being a good defender definitely could not be the best selection in that case, especially on that side of the floor. But at least on the offensive side of the floor, I think it would make a lot of sense, and I think there's a somewhat realistic chance he still gets picked 9th guy by Sacramento. The second prospect I think the Sacramento Kings could potentially select with the 9th overall pick is Franz Wagner out of Michigan State. Wagner is the current brother of the NBA player Mo Wagner. He has pretty ideal size for a forward, as he's 6'9" and 220 pounds. He's a pretty versatile player for his height, as during college he played the small forward position, but he can also play the shooting guard position as well as the power forward position. He's a pretty strong player who's a solid rebounder for his size. He's also a fantastic when it comes to finishing at the rim, as he has amazing touch, because during college he literally shot 70% from the basket, which is very good. He also has very solid handles for his size. He can bring the ball up the court. He'll never be like a primary ball handler or anything like that, but he can be a secondary initiator. He's a pretty solid passer for his size, and he's great at making decisions and rarely turns the ball over. He's a decent three-point shooter, but not a great one to any degree, and he is an excellent three-point free throw shooter, which shows that he might have the potential to be a good shooter in the future. But to talk about more about his defense, he's a very versatile defender who can defend the 2 to the 4, and he's a pretty versatile defender who could switch on pick and rolls and things like that, which is definitely important in the modern NBA. He also has very quick and active hands, and he always gives effort on that side of the ball. He's also pretty strong and moves well laterally, and his IQ and length allows him to contest shots at a good level. To voice some of his weaknesses is the fact that he probably won't be able to create his own shot very well in the NBA due to his handles not being elite and him not being the quickest player, and his finishing might not be as good in the NBA due to the fact that he's not a crazy athlete or anything like that. And as I said, he's not a great three-point shooter, and that's definitely not like a huge advantage, especially if he wants to play the small forward or power forward position. Although, as I said, he's a really good free throw shooter, so I think there's a chance he could become a really good three-point shooter in the NBA. And to be honest, I think he would be a decent fit on Sacramento due to the fact that he could play either forward position, which is something they need. And Wagner is actually a player who I think can play defense at a very solid level in the NBA, which is something the Sacramento team definitely can use. I think he could be a solid role player, and he also stayed in college for 2 seasons, meaning I think there's a chance he could help Sacramento win some games right straight out of the gate, which is exactly what they want to do. I don't think Wagner will be a terrible pick at this point in the draft. I don't think he's going to be a star or superstar or anything like that, but I do think Sacramento drafting him is realistic. The third prospect I think the Sacramento Kings could potentially select with the 9th overall pick is Josh Giddey, who's from overseas. Giddey's a 6'8" point guard, and he's a very naturally talented point guard. He just has a great feel for the game, and he has a tremendous amount of high IQ. He's also the kind of player who makes his teammates better, and he's the type of guy who can do a little bit of everything. Apparently, he's a guy who could potentially be a triple-double threat. He's also one of the better passers in the draft due to his great court vision. He barely misses his teammates when they're open, and he can easily see over the defense due to him being 6'8". He's great at running the pick and roll, because he's great at hitting the big man as well as hitting open shooters, and he can even attack the basket himself and finish plays at the rim at a decent level with either end. He also has a solid floater game that he sometimes goes to. He has shown promise to be a spot-up shooter, but it's definitely not a strong suit. He's also a very smart defender who takes advantage of his length against other guards, and he's adept at stealing the ball in the passing lanes. For some of his weaknesses is the fact that he's not a great athlete at all, as he's not really that quick and he doesn't have a high vertical jump. He's also a very skinny player. He's not really strong at all. He might struggle to create his own shot at the next level due to the fact that his handles aren't really elite enough to where he could create space himself. When you add in that he's not really that athletic at all, that's definitely not an advantage. He's also a very inconsistent shooter, even though most of his threes come from spot-ups, and he isn't even a good free throw shooter for his position, which makes me question how good of a shooter in his career he actually will be. He doesn't really have a pull-up game at all, and at times he can get really passive to where he won't even shoot the ball, kind of Ben Simmons like. And on defense, he is not that good at guarding fast guards at all. And in my opinion, I feel like there's a decent chance the Sacramento Kings draft him, but I don't think it would be the right decision because I view him more as a guy who's a prospect, a guy who's going to take a few more years to develop than most prospects, but because he's like a very raw player, and I feel like he plays his best at the point guard position. And on the Sacramento Kings, with a team with guys like Tyrese Halliburton and De'Aaron Fox, he probably won't be able to play the point guard position that much, and it will probably force him to play like the small forward position, the shooting guard positions, and sometimes even the power forward position. And I think that could really stun his development. So for his sake, I would rather see him play on a team not like the Kings, like a team with not that much great point guards. And I don't think he's gonna be a guy who's gonna help you straight out the gate, which I think is something Sacramento somewhat wants. And I think the Kings need a guy who helps you like straight out the gate. So honestly, I doubt they select him. But to conclude the video, if I had to guess who the Sacramento Kings will select with the 9th overall pick, I predict they will select Franz Wagner due to the fact that he seems like a prospect who could be good on both sides of the floor. The Kings Kings weren't so terrible on the defensive side of the floor, I would say they choose Corey Kispert, but he's not even a good defender at all, and I guarantee Wagner will be available in this point in this draft, so they definitely could select him. I wouldn't be surprised if they went for another prospect, because I'm a bit shaky on like how good Wagner will actually be in the NBA, but I just feel like Sacramento will draft him. They also don't have much forwards on this team, and Wagner is exactly that. Maybe if they hadn't drafted Tyrese Halliburton last year, I would say they would select Josh Giddey to be like a backup point guard or something like that, and I think drafting him at this point wouldn't be right for his career, and as I said, I don't think he'll help them coming straight into the NBA, so I think Franz Wagner is their man. Anyways guys, that's it for the video. Let me know who you think the Sacramento Kings are going to draft. Drop a like on this video to help my channel grow. Subscribe to my channel if you want daily NBA content. I literally post every single day. Also, I'm trying to go with 1,500 subscribers. Comment this verse on conversation. I do respond to all of my comments, and I'm out.